Howdy, this is Ranger, and I'm bringing you exclusive in-the-loop coverage of Adventureland just outside of Des Moines, Iowa. This video will be a full tour of the amusement park and water park. The new roller coaster Monster will make a brief appearance in this video, although it will be primarily featured on a different video on the In the Loop channel. Quick disclaimer, there will be many Iowa jokes in this video. First of all, know that this comes from a deep sense of respect and affection that I have for the people that live here. I grew up here, and I honestly believe that Iowans are some of the nicest, kindest people that you will ever meet. Second of all, as always when you watch my videos, don't take anything too seriously. Right after walking through the front gate, we run into Main Street. This was inspired by Main Street at Disneyland. Although Disneyland isn't the park that this place reminds me of, the park that this place reminds me of is Cedar Point. At Cedar Point, it's a gigantic park with many world-class roller coasters, and it would take more than a day to do everything. Adventureland is just like that. The only difference is that it's the exact opposite in every way.
The first ride on the tour is Space Shot. This 200-foot tall tower shoots riders up into the sky before sending them back down to Earth. Right next to the Monster roller coaster is the 2014 ride Storm Chaser. This is a Mondial Windseeker that lifts guests 260 feet in the air, giving them great views of the park and the surrounding area. The view is particularly amazing if you love the view of cornfields. And who doesn't love the view of cornfields?
This is the roller coaster from the manufacturer that you've never heard of. It is Dragon, and it's made by Hopkins. It is a double looping roller coaster right on the water's edge here. It finishes with this helix. It's a short ride, but it's a good one though. There's good power. It's not super smooth, but it's smooth enough to get by. Other than Monster, I would say this is the second best ride here at Adventureland. The Sheriff Sam's Saloon is home to a magic show. This is the same magic show that was here the last time I visited 14 years ago. So apparently, in Iowa, the magic shows last just as long as the terms of their senators. It's a good magic show. I would recommend it. The major indoor ride that they have here is the Underground. This is classified as a roller coaster, but it's really more of a dark ride. It's got a small lift and it moves very slowly through the course. There's some Old West style props. Check it out, but not an amazing ride by any stretch of the imagination.
Situated between Dragon and the edge of the park is Tornado. If you've ridden Screamin' Eagle at Six Flags St. Louis, this is very similar to that. It has several moments of airtime and good length. There's a lot to see on this ride too, as it goes right past the Dragon in the water park. Tornado is unspectacular, but overall it's a good smooth ride. Here on the Sky Ride, this is probably the most dangerous park ride in the country. I literally could just jump right out of it if I want to, but I'm not going to do that. While you enjoy the views of the park, I'd like to take this opportunity to inform you about Iowa culture. One thing you may not know about Iowa is that almost every student who graduates from high school receives his or her very own graduation party. These are typically meet and greet style parties where friends come by to say congratulations and maybe bring a card and or a small gift, and then they eat the food that the graduate provides to them. What this amounts to is that for several weekends in the month of May, many families don't even cook meals because they just go party hopping and enjoying all the free food. Now, graduation parties in Iowa are not to be confused with prom, though. Prom works the same way here as it does everywhere else, but the timing is a little bit different, though. And you can tell that it's prom season in Iowa when you see 15 tractors pull into the McDonald's parking lot. Did you hear that really cool thing that just happened in Iowa? Nah, neither did I. I don't want to say there's nothing to do here, but it's been said that the difference between Des Moines and yogurt is that yogurt has a live active culture. With all that being said, what do people do here? Well, Iowans love sports. Since there's no major professional sports teams, fans cling to their college teams. The rivalry between the Iowa Hawkeyes and Iowa State Cyclones is especially fierce. Do you know what Iowa fans do to keep Iowa State fans out of their backyard? They put up goalposts. What did the Iowa State basketball fan do after his team made it past the Sweet 16? He woke up. I'm an Iowa fan, but there's more than enough material to make fun of the Hawkeyes as well. If there's an Iowa running back, receiver, and cornerback in the same car, who is driving the car? A cop. It's true, the Hawkeyes have a hard time staying out of the slammer. Late one night, a Hawkeye fan stumbled his way down the sidewalk. A police officer approached him and asked, "Sir, have you been drinking?" The man replied, "It's Tuesday night in Iowa City. Of course I've been drinking." That was a real thing that actually happened.
In the back of the park we have the Western themed section, which is flanked by Outlaw. This is a 1993 custom coaster international twister roller coaster. This ride is a lot like watching the Iowa football team play offense. It's kind of bumpy, but generally speaking it gets the job done. There's a few pops of air time. It is a little bit rough, not too horribly bad, but it's decent, it's alright. Also back here is the Royal Hannaford Circus in the big top tent. You don't see any circuses at amusement parks typically. They had some acrobats and some magicians, so it definitely was worth my time to check it out. I recommend it when you come to Adventureland. Right next to Outlaw is the Pathway to Adventure Bay Waterpark. This was added in 2008. There's been a couple of expansions since then. Let's go check it out. Some of my favorite slide complex here is the Bermuda Triangle. We have a bowl slide, and we also have this yellow and orange slide with 3 mini funnels. It sends you shooting down and then you rock up against the side a few times before you continue on your way down. The other 2 slides are pretty good too, much better than typical tube slides. The Typhoon is a 2 or 4 person tube slide that combines helixes with this small funnel. These are really fun and rare rides. Up against the edge of the park we have the Mat Racer slides and the Speed slides. These are both off-the-shelf type of rides, but they're pretty solid and they're pretty big too. The Lazy River goes all the way around the main water slide complex. I think it's interesting how you can take whatever you want onto this Lazy River. So you see people that are floating down it that are drinking beer. That's not something you see at every water park, that's for sure. The final stop is the Breaker Beach Wave Pool. This is an interesting wave pool because there's 2 separate sections where the waves come out of, and then you sort of have this dead zone in between. It's a pretty good sized wave pool for a park this small. It's also interesting in that the pool is really shallow. It's maybe only 4 feet deep, but the waves are large relative to how shallow the pool is. Overall, the water park is small, but it's really good considering the size of the park. They've got a lot of newer slides, and you definitely can spend a few hours here cooling off in the middle of the afternoon. They did a really good job squeezing as much as they could into this tiny little space. Finishing out the day at Adventureland with one more ride on the Sky Ride, going back to the front of the park. This is the new monster roller coaster. It's fantastic. Go ahead and head over to that video. The link is up here on the screen. Adventureland to me is all about setting the right expectations before you go. This is not a big, fantastic park. It's just a small one, but there's plenty to do here. There's the monster, the tornado, the outlaw, the dragon, several roller coasters. They've got a pretty good water park considering how small the amusement park is. There's a bunch of small scale flat rides. There's some good shows. So you can definitely fill an entire day with things to do here, but just remember to keep your expectations to a low scale park. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of Adventureland in Iowa. Don't forget to subscribe to the In the Loop channel and listen to the In the Loop podcast. I'll see you on my next trip. This is Ranger signing off from Adventureland.